What's up, you guys? So I'm here with a new video today. I'm here to bring you guys the second place deck list from UDS Sacramento that took place this past weekend. It's piloted by my friend Ken Kuo. Shout out to you, bro, for another top and making it all the way to the finals. As you guys can see, he played Trickstars. He was kind enough to send me his deck list. There also is a live deck list that I will link down below. Be sure to go check that out. He gave me also a very detailed explanation as to his card choices. So for right now, we're going to get into the main deck, the side and extra, and then I'll get into those explanations after we go through the list. So on to the main deck, he played 3 copies of Trickstar Candina, 1 Honest, 3 copies of Trickstar Licorice, 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Ogre, the 1 copy of Lilybell, 3 copies of Droll, and 3 copies of Eater of Millions for the monsters. For the spells, 1 Raigeki, 3 copies of Pot of Desires, 1 Dark Hole, 3 Terraforming, 2 copies of Scapegoat, and 3 copies of Trickstar Light Stage for the spells. To the traps, the 3 Trickstar Reincarnation, 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier, and 3 main deck copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance for a 41 card main deck. Onto the extra deck, played 1 copy of Breaksword, 1 copy of Grand Pulse, 1 copy of Topological Bomber Dragon, 1 copy of Borreload, 1 copy of Firewall, 1 copy of Ningrisu, 1 copy of Triple Burst Dragon, 1 copy Decode, 1 copy of Trickstar Holly Angel, we got 1 Ib, 1 Mrs. Radiant, 1 Proxy, 2 copies of Link Spider, and 1 copy of Link Karibo. Onto the side deck, there was 1 copy of Jizakuru, 1 Gameciel, 3 copies of Astrograph Sorcerer, 1 Kumungus, 2 Effect Veiler, 1 Kaiju Slumber, 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 3 Evenly Matched, and the 3rd copy of Dimensional Barrier. So that is it for the main side and extra. Now I'm just going to get into the explanations that he gave me for card choices as well as shoutouts. So about his main deck, the first thing he wanted to talk about was that he did play a full set of Pot of Desires, 3 copies of Pot of Desires. For people who aren't cowards, what he meant by that is that if you notice a lot of deck lists, they usually play 2 copies of Pot of Desires. The reason being is that you really don't want to take that chance of, of course, opening 2 Desires or banishing too much of your engine. But, you have to come to realize that we've been playing this game long enough to know that Pot of Desires is a +1. Pot of Desires is one of the best cards in the game, and a lot of times there really is no excuse to not play a full set of 3 so that you have a better chance of opening it. It's such a good card that +1 is so important, and you dig for pieces that you need in your deck. So that's pretty self-explanatory. And of course, as you guys notice, he did main deck 3 copies of Anti-Spell and 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier. Basically, you guys already know they were there for the Pendulum matchup. However, he told me that until round 8, those cards didn't really help. I guess he didn't play against Pendulum until round 8, but they did make some matches easier, so that's pretty cool. I just think they were a really good choice, knowing that Pendulum is like #1 on everyone's radar. There's also the Pendulum FTK. If you're fortunate enough to go first, you just set this up. The deck has a really hard time playing. You guys already know D-Barrier is skip your turn, and this card just says you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh, so makes a really good choice to play them in the main deck. That's pretty much as far as the main deck goes. As far as the extra deck, there was a card in here I actually haven't seen before, and that card is a Triple Burst Dragon. He told me that this card is there because it's able to deal with monsters during damage step. Cards like Eater of Millions, Purple Poison, Magician, Honest, etc. So he's able to negate those effects with this card, and I think that's just really cool. It's just finding other Link monsters people don't really play, and that gives versatility against certain problems that the deck may suffer from. And other things he wanted to talk about in the extra deck was that Grand Pulse, it was an okay card. I think Grand Pulse is a cool card, the fact that you can make it, the fact that it also is like another MST, gets rid of like Scales, gets rid of the trap, gets rid of a lot of things against Pendulum Magicians as other decks in general. Plus it's got 2800 defense. That is kind of hard to get by these days, so it's just an interesting card, and it's just good utility overall. That's pretty much it as far as the extra deck goes. Everything else is pretty standard that you see in a Trickstar deck. Plus, I mean, you're playing Eater of Millions, so, a lot of times you're just banishing away your extra deck just to, make your Eater of Millions bigger. So, pretty self-explanatory. Then to the side deck, just things we want to talk about there is that Kaijus are good, obviously, and they deal with big monsters. Cards like Astrograph Sorcerer, which I think was really interesting. I have yet to see a Trickstar deck that actually plays this, unless I missed something. This is the first deck list I've seen from Trickstar that actually plays this card. He said that it was there for the mirror match and just some other matchups. Makes sense. If you guys already know, the one weakness that Trickstar does have is that they do have a hard time getting around big monsters, and this is just a really cool way. You summon a 2500 point monster, they can't really deal with it, and it's just good, overall. Plus, I mean, you're playing the mirror, you need to have as many, advantages as possible over your opponent. So I just think it's a really cool card to see, you know, not only in Pendulum Editions where it's dominant, but to see it as a side deck choice for other decks. So that's really, really cool. And then, of course, evenly matched, self-explanatory, just wins games. So that's pretty much all the explanations he gave me. You guys know, those of you that play Trickstar, those of you that played against it before, this is a pretty streamlined deck list, like I said, with some added main deck choices like Anti-Spell and D-Barrier to give yourself an advantage against Pendulum since they are the most represented deck. So that's as far as that goes, and then we're just going to get to his shoutouts. He's got pretty detailed shoutouts. So he wants to make shoutouts to those who directly helped him test, gave him stuff, or shouted him out previously. First shoutout goes to Just Flip TCG, JJ, the owner and sponsor. It was nice enough to give him sleeves, hotel, and drove him there. Shoutouts to Mike and Sophie. Shoutouts to Team Royalty, the members Gospel, Carlos, Jarek, Peter, Mark, and Sean. Shoutout also to Brian Chen. He also top 8'd this event. I will actually be profiling his deck as well. That'll be the next video after this one. So shout out to him for another top. He's also the one who recorded Ken's live deck profile. So again, I will have that link below. Be sure to check it out and be sure to subscribe. Let's see, other shout-outs. We got Tom and Bruce, the three of them along with Brian. The three helped him test. Tom and Bruce designed the deck list and taught me what I know. That's always awesome. Shout-outs to 316 people, Mel and Joe, Alec and Anthony Gonzalez. Shout out to Elvis, good old Elvis Vu, always got his back. And shout outs to Angel Calero, he's my old friend and we go way back. So that is the deck, you guys. That is Ken Kuo's second place UDS Sacramento Trickstar deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like his tech choices? Do you like you know, just the decision, the route he decided to go with this deck? Just let me know what you guys think of the deck list, and I will be bringing you guys another top 8 deck list from the UDS in Sacramento in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.